morning and welcome. Here we are for the daily challenge. And today the daily challenge is about, turning embarrassment or a difficult situation into humour, seeing the funny side of a situation. I'm actually going to tell you a couple of funny little things that happened, firstly to my parents, and then something funny that happened to me, just as an example for you to draw on. So the idea of this challenge today is to look back at a time in your life. Sometime could be recent, could be many years ago, could be a childhood experience, could be something that one of your grandkids have said or your kids have said. And it's just about seeing the humour in the situation, I guess. Just drawing on a memory where you were able to laugh at something that was either quite embarrassing or a sort of an awkward situation, and to bring the humour in and feel what that feels like, to bring the humour into the situation. When it happens at the time, it can be very difficult and a bit hard to see the funny side. Often when you remove yourself from it later, you can really see the funny side. So the aim is to be able to relax enough to see the funny side at the time and laugh at yourself as well. To be able to have a laugh with others about something that's happened to you, or with yourself about something that's happened to you. And that way, it releases the embarrassment and any sort of awkward feelings or feelings of sadness about the situation that happened. If you can try and pull on that humour and bring the funny side in, it really lightens up the energy and makes you feel better. So, quite an easy one to do today. Just think of a lovely time when you've been able to have a good laugh. It's something that perhaps would have been quite embarrassing. Like for instance, many years ago, I taught aerobics, and I'd worked out this new choreography, and I was up in the hall on the stage with the class in front of me, and it was like a small box stage in the middle. It wasn't a whole big stage. It was just like a block stage in the middle of the hall. Probably about 6 or maybe 10 foot wide by 10 foot wide by about 10 foot long, sorry. It would have been about 10 foot long by about maybe 3 or 4 feet deep. So there I was, up in front of the class in my leotards, and one of the first aerobic classes I'd actually taught was when I was training, and one of the first classes that I'd taught, and I got up in front of this class on this program, trying to be very professional and very confident. And so part of the routine was to do heel toe to the right, moving to the right as you did it, and then to the left. And then you would go into a further routine. It was a warm-up routine, so it was gently heel toe to your right, then heel toe to your left, and then bring your arms up above your head, and doing star jumps or whatever it was that followed the whole routine I'd worked out. So I'm up there directing the class and saying, right, in time with the music, we're all in time with the music, and I'm heel toe to the left. Now ladies, heel toe to the right. The only thing is I heel-toed straight off the stage and onto the floor below me, luckily landing on both feet. So that gave the class a really big laugh, and it gave me a big laugh too, because I couldn't do anything else but see the funny side of the experience, because here I was trying to be very proper and very professional and so involved and entrenched in what I was doing I forgot to look where the edge of the stage was and went straight off the edge and very amazingly, delicately, landed on both feet on the floor, which was how that happened. Was an absolute miracle because how did go right over. It was amazing. So I could see the funny side of it. And so could the class, and we had a good laugh. So then I hopped up on the stage and said, "Now, ladies, we'll just continue off to our left now." While they were in fits of laughter. So when I think about that, I always have a really good laugh because I think, oh, well, that was an embarrassing situation, but what else could you do but laugh at it? And looking back on it, it must have looked so funny. And the other little instance I can remember, my mother and father telling me, and this would have been way back, this happened way back in the early 60s, 1960, in the early 60s, and they were both walking along the street, and Dad was walking just behind Mum. I think Mum was walking with the hands held by two children, one on each side, and Dad was just strolling along behind. And all of a sudden, in a busy street in the middle of Sydney, it was, all dressed up for the day out, walking along the street, the two kids all in their very best dressed, and Mum and Dad in their best dressed. And as they walked along, the elastic in Mum's undies broke. And they just fell right off. So Mum very quickly kept walking. Dad walked along behind them, picked them up very quickly and shoved them in his pocket. And nobody saw, and they all went on, because particularly back in those days, that would have been so embarrassing and so shocking a thing to happen. I mean, it's embarrassing at any time, but yeah, the elastic just went boom, and as Mum walked, her pants just fell straight off onto the footpath. So Dad walked behind very quickly, picked them up, put them in his pocket, and everybody kept walking as if nothing had happened. And I always thought when they told us that story, it always gave me a good laugh too, because I could just see it in my mind in this busy street. Like, we didn't go to town all that often, and to be in the middle of the city and to have that happen would have been so embarrassing, but they always had a good laugh about it afterwards. And that's the thing, and that by doing this and going back, that's your challenge. Go back, find an old story that perhaps your parents have told you, or something that relates to you, but something that brings that laughter in, and that will help you try and stay in that sort of place of humour when you are in an embarrassing situation. Okay, pretty easy challenge today, and one that'll lighten things up a bit and give you a bit of a laugh in this dull, old, wet weather. A lot of us are stuck in floods and flood-bound. I'm flood-bound at the moment too. But it's a really good time to catch up on things and even to, to relive some of those memories, those funny memories. But particularly this one, like when you're bringing up these funny memories that are associated with some sort of embarrassment and finding a way to move through them with a sense of humour, once you get tapping into that, you'll also start to bring back other memories that gave you joy and fun. And that lifts your vibration and lifts your energy and makes you feel good about what's going on now as well. Because at the moment particularly, the world needs some laughter and some love. We really need to be sending love and laughter to the world with all that's going on. And so if we can look at these things that we've overcome through laughter, then it'll help us face our challenges a lot more easily and with a sense of humour. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you enjoy that little challenge. If you did, please give it the thumbs up, share online and subscribe. That's it for now. Love and blessings, Kath.